Assalamu alaikum students, I am Shkil Ahmed, your history teacher. Our today's topic is the British East India Company. We will discuss this topic under these contents. So the first one is the introduction of East India Company. In 1600 AD, the British Queen Elizabeth I granted the permission to a group of traders or merchants to set up the East India Company to trade between the Britain and Indonesia. Those traders belonged to London. In Indonesia, the East India Company got completely failed because the Dutch people and traders had already got the control of spice trade and would not allow any other nation, including the British, to share it. So after getting and meeting complete failure in Indonesia, the East India Company turned to India to try its luck. In 1608, East India Company first landed in the coastal city of Surat, but they were not being allowed by the British Emperor Jahangir to start their trade. Later on, they came in contact with the son of Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and because of Shah Jahan, they were succeeded to get permission by the emperor in 1612. East India Company influence grows. In early 18th century, East India Company had its bases or headquarters, what were being called the presidencies, in three major areas: Bombay, Calcutta and Madras, and they started keeping their private armies for the security and protection purpose. East India Company traded in spices, silk, cotton and silver. The trade became very profitable initially for both the Mughal Empire as well as the East India Company. The British began to develop plans to come in direct competition with the emperor when they saw the political situation and the economic conditions of India. So in 1686, British East India Company got too much strength that they came in the war with Aurangzeb's royal forces. So East India Company was being defeated by the royal forces. They were later on pardoned and they had to pay heavy fine. Now we'll discuss about Sir Robert Clive. Robert Clive was a British military general who was the commander of the forces of British East India Company in India. So Robert Clive was the person who defeated the French traders in India who were already the part of trade in India and consolidated the control of East India Company here. Robert Clive expanded his forces and set up his government in different parts of India. He had won the Battle of Plassey and became the governor of Bengal after getting the success in Battle of Plassey. He was accused of plundering India and had to face inquiries. He was addicted to opium and later on he took his own life in 1773. Now we will discuss the Battle of Plassey, which was fought in 1757. In 1756, Bengal was under the rule of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah. So there were so many French officers who were the part of the forces of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah. So those French officers encouraged the Nawab of Bengal to attack the East India Company's base at Calcutta. The Nawab captured the city of Calcutta but remained unsuccessful to keep the control of that city. In 1757, Robert Clive arrived with its forces and he defeated the forces of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah in the Battle of Plassey. Clive's victory had been possible because of the treachery of Nawab's general Mir Jafar. So, Mir Jafar helped the forces of Robert Clive uh, on some conditions. So, the East India Company rewarded Mir Jafar by making him Nawab of Bengal. Bengal was very vast and rich province. Mir Jafar was forced to give East India Company gifts of land and money to make East India Company officials extremely rich. Now we will discuss the Battle of Buxar, which was fought in 1764. 1764, Mir Jafar's son, Mir Qasim, he joined the forces of Nawab of Awadh and the forces of Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II to drive the East India Company out of Bengal. The East India Company forces defeated them in the Battle of Buxar, and after getting victory in the Battle of Buxar against Mir Qasim, Nawab of Awadh and Shah Alam II, they increased their influence and took control of the revenue collection in Bengal, Bihar, Orissa and Awadh.